This is the VIP Podcast, Virginia in Politics. Let's listen to host Chris Saxman explore the personalities and policies that connect the Commonwealth. The VIP Podcast is brought to you by the VCTA, Broadband Association of Virginia, and Virginia Free. The views and opinions expressed here do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the VCTA and Virginia Free or our sponsors.
Hi, this is Chris Saxman back with you on the VIP Podcast. That's Virginia in Politics Podcast, brought to you by VCTA, the Broadband Association of Virginia, and Virginia Free, of which I am its executive director. Now, yesterday I had the privilege and honor of going side by side with Dr. Bob Holsworth in talking Virginia politics to the Virginia School Boards Association down at the Richmond Marriott yesterday. A couple hundred people in the ballroom there want to talk about politics, a lot of questions. One of the questions I was asked that I thought might be of interest to this audience is, what do you see coming up in the 2023 elections here in Virginia? And first and foremost, I want to bring your attention to the nomination phase. That will be decided, everything will be decided by June 20th of this year. And there are a number of nominations. I'm going to focus on the Senate for this particular talk right now, the Senate of Virginia, because there are at least 17 significant nomination contests going on. And I'm not going to get into too many of them individually right now. I want to lay the predicate, if you will, of what I'm looking at and what I'm trying to analyze in Virginia politics relative to the Senate. And the question we received was, where do you see this thing going? And they wanted to go into specific races. Again, I'm not going to go there. What I'm looking at, though, is the direction of both political parties. And the nominations, especially in Northern Virginia, you should pay particular attention to inside the Democratic Party. There are a number of nomination contests that will determine the shape and direction of the Virginia State Senate, especially if the Democrats do hold their majority in the chamber. I was not expecting or anticipating the number of nomination contests. I didn't see George Barker getting primaried, or Adam Ebbin, or Chat Peterson. Those are longtime, well-established, successful, well-regarded Democratic incumbents. Now, the fact that they're being challenged from within the party tells me that, it should tell the audience quite clearly, that the Democratic Party isn't necessarily monolithically behind in supporting the incumbents. They're going to challenge them, which means they're probably going to run to the left and pull the party potentially even further to the left, especially if they should win. Now, on the Republican side, so we want to watch that in Northern Virginia with the Democrats. The rest of Virginia, ROVA, if you will, Republicans have their own contest. Now, it's very interesting to watch the two political parties play this new redistricting era out. Republicans, for the most part, and I mean like 90% of the times, when they had incumbents mapped together, they've worked out their differences, and one incumbent's going to go forward, and one's probably going to retire and do something else, or do something else. There's plenty of options for them to do. Now, Democrats are going to have their fights. You'll see less retirements from the Democrats and more retirements from the Republicans. That's just how Republicans and Democrats behave in their own camps, which is very interesting. In that regard, though, there are still some contests for the Republicans which are going to be played out. Like the Mark Obenshain, Emmett Hanger back in the Shenandoah Valley where I'm from. I don't see them competing against each other for that district. It favors heavily Mark Obenshain, and I think Emmett Hanger, if he's going to run in the Senate, is going to have to move to another district very, very close to his own right now where he lives in Mount Solon. Another example, Tommy Norman and Ryan McDougal in the eastern part of the state, more Richmond East. I see that as a nomination contest that will be worked out between the two and relatively late, probably after session. But what's interesting to me is that the Republicans are working out their differences well ahead of time to get ready for the general elections, whereas the Democrats are going to fight their battles out. Even in safe district, Republicans are working their differences out. The Democrats, on the other hand, aren't. And that's a dynamic I think we should all pay attention to. Where's the Republican Party going? What's their message going to be for the general election? Because Virginia's a bellwether, you need to pay attention to that. And what are the Democrats doing? And when you put all that together, you'll be able to get a lay of the land of where the presidential primaries and nominations are going to be going, in what direction those two political parties are going to take the rest of the country. So, with that, I leave you to more broadcasts here on the VIP podcast, available on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. I hope you subscribe, like, and share, and do so right now.